So it's time to disassemble this Craigslist replacement window, so I thought I would bring you guys along for the journey. So we'll see what all we got here. It's like we got a piece of cardboard, the first layer, with some packing tape holding it on. Now, when I was at the junkyard, I inadvertently forgot to buy another window for it because there were some folks there that were borrowing one of our tools. It seems like there's always people there that never bring the right tools, but they were borrowing one of our tools and we had to have it back. So they were saying, well, you know, you could help us, or we'll pay you to do this removal or whatever. And, you know, we're thinking, no, I'm not going to do that. So we were in a haste to get out of there. So before they came back and requested another borrowed tool, so I didn't get a window. But be very careful not to damage the paint. More tape there, I guess. Yeah, it's a previous layer tape. All right. So now it's time to. Okay. There we go. Now it's time to open the door and see what the internal layer, the protecting layer, is. Looks like this is a garbage bag. Got a piece of cardboard there, and then looks like maybe there's another layer of material under this. So let's carefully peel back the layers. Am I going to say it? Yeah, I'm going to say it. You can go to all this trouble but not buy a window. It's too hard, too expensive. I don't know how to put the window in. I don't have the money. Notice I've never heard any comment from anybody that says, yeah, I do stuff like that. Never heard that. Alright, there's the first layer of internal protection, the garbage bag, and as you can see, like I said, that was not watertight, and it's been leaking some water. So now I'm going to confess. What is this? A piece of a shirt, maybe? I'm going to confess that in the interim, before I can get a window for it, I got to seal this up. So I'm going to use my duct, not my duct tape, my Gorilla Tape, and seal this thing up watertight, because that Gorilla Tape holds pretty good. So there it'll be, and you can say, well, you're doing the same thing, but like I said, there's not many of these cars around in the junkyard, and the junkyard is 2.5–3 hours one way, so I gotta do what I gotta do temporarily. So safety glass there. Alright, I don't know what this piece was exactly. I don't know what that is, but yeah, got tape residue to get off of here. But one thing is, thank you, many hundreds of thanks for not using duct tape on this. The rest of this will come off fairly easily. At least I just use packing tape. Alrighty, well. And in the spirit of fairness, I will show you my own repair of this with tape. Alright, there we go. Got our new and improved Craigslist spec window in. And it's made out of our 100-mile-an-hour Gorilla Tape, which is about adequate because this car probably won't go much more than 100 miles an hour. Anyway, here at the lab we're also working on a prototype version of this window that's made out of a clear material that's you can see through it, and we're tentatively calling it glass. Stay tuned, we may do that one too. Nothing much to see here except that I had to make a couple replacement carpet underlayments out of this spare stuff I had from the last beater car that I rehabbed, which I think was that old Protege. And there's the originals, and they were so scummed up and soaked with tobacco that I couldn't use them, so I had to make these. So it's a good thing I had that. You remember what the master teaches us: never throw anything away. The hoarding may pay off. Okay, it's about 20 till 5 on Saturday, and I'm going to say the little car is 90% finished. Is it pretty? No. Does it run? Does it drive? Yes. Just gave it a bath, had to get the mud and the grime off of it. So anyway, got it back together. Paint kind of matches. I may actually spring for a can of the correct color paint for it, make it look a little bit better. But anyway, and yeah, I'll get the paint off that chrome emblem. Still got to get a grill for it, but I'm going to get that off eBay. They're about $25 for a new grill. Put that in. And the front end alignment, it's okay. Yeah, the hood's a little that way, and I don't think it's the front end pushed over really so much, because the line is wider at the back than it is the front. I think maybe this hood's just kind of tweaked, but it does have a pretty good gap over here, pretty wide gap, and the headlight was a tight fit, so it's not near perfect, but for what I've spent to fix it, you can't ask for much more than that. So interior is back in it, and still, I think this car, I'm still in the process of cleaning it, but I went ahead and just thoroughly cleaned the seats and put the new carpet in and all that. Still got to detail up some stuff like the ashtray that was so nasty and all that, but I think this car may actually win the coveted title of my own personal worst Craigslist car clean ever. This car was filthy. This car was beyond filthy. This car was pathologically dirty. I mean, I'm not going to repeat it, and I've already said this several times, but this dude that had this car, he was a pig. And I don't care if he ever hears about this. That's fine, because he was a pig. As a matter of fact, I was opening the glove box up, and looking in there, there's just books for it and stuff. But this car has this 2-level glove box. Yeah, there's a good old Kotex in here. It's great. Just what I needed. And some other stuff. Let's see what they got here. Get the old looks like we got an old sanitation bill there. Current charges $39.75, past due charges $39.75. That's another surprise there. Whoops, that is address. But that we gotta. Oh, we got here. Let's see. Looks like we got a power receipt here for the light bill. I won't show his name there, but electric lighting, electric service, late payment charge, electric. Of course, that's, I've beat this horse to death, but guys, I'm just saying, this all ties in together. People that are this nasty and piggy, they're lazy in other parts of their life also, like paying bills, and it all ties in together. So blah blah. Okay, then I've got to do some more. I've got the cooling system filled up on this, but I was run out of time to really make sure it's not going to leak and that the thermostat's open and all that. So I'm going to do a little bit of that. And I've got a check engine light on also, and the engine's kind of occasionally runs a little funny, so I'm going to check into that and see what's going on with that, and then I'll update you. See ya. right then, cooling system's back online. So I've been sitting in here with my torque app, just watching it, and it's got, this car, like I said several times, it does not have a temperature gauge. It has, in that cluster over there in the center, it's got a couple temperature warning lights there. In the lower right is got, and when you start it up, there's a blue cold light that comes on. Looks like a thermometer, but it's blue. And then above it's a red one that comes on when it's too hot. So not a fan of that. So I'm thinking I've got a spare tablet that never worked right as far as like being able to connect to Wi-Fi, but I think the Bluetooth was okay on it. So I'm going to try to figure out a way. I've got the torque app on this good tablet, this Samsung. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to possibly do one of two things. I may either use that tablet as a temperature gauge, just like I am right here, or I may put in another discrete temperature gauge somewhere in here, because I'm just not, you know, 95% it should not ever have a problem, but you never know. Okay, well, it's dark and about 7 o'clock, and this car has no insurance and it's not registered yet. So it's probably one of the worst times to go out for a drive, but I'm too excited to find out how it's going to go, so I'm going to do it anyway. So anyway, let's go for it. Try it out. I need a headlight bulb, and I put it in, but it's kind of dim, so I don't know what might have went on with that right side headlight. That's the one that got smashed real bad. So I don't know if it might have done something to the wiring or not. I've got my seatbelt on, but the other end is not hooked to the car because somehow I misplaced the bolt to it. But I hope this thing doesn't stop running, because I'll have to push it back if it does. Well, this camera does not know what to think about lights, does it? A couple out down here. Maybe more than a couple. Trying to find the button out of there. It is. No kidding. Are you saying the air works? It kicked on. We'll see if it does. Huh. I guess it does. Man, I'm sorry for the camera being so dim. This stupid camera's flipping out about the... Look at it. What's the problem here? Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Jeez. Time I've had this thing out on the street at all. I use a route here. take when I'm not sure what's going to happen. Transmission shifted through all 4 years. I think this car's settled pretty good while, so it probably needs to be driven. Lead on, eh? Not very quiet. Check engine lights on there, and I checked that with my code reader, and it said it had a number 2 misfire, which I noticed when I step on the gas occasionally, at least the first time there, sort of missed a couple beats all of a sudden, but then it's straightened out, and it's just sort of a little bit like it's a little bit lungy when it's at park throttle. So I'm gonna take some time tomorrow to make sure that I've cut everything, you know, I didn't miss a vacuum line or something. So it drives pretty good. It's not pulling real bad. That's good, because that yeah, I think the IC's stuck possibly. That thing should have time to relearn its, well, no, relearn its idle by now, but it's okay then. The air conditioner works. Try that again. Yep, so we got air conditioning. Air conditioning works, the radio works. The CD player works. It's got turn the CD player on. Nope. I'll take my word for it, it worked, because I played it. It's got some goofy CD in there, like, I don't know what it was. So anyway, alright then, I'm gonna total up my expenditures that it took to get this thing going. And we'll see where we're at. But, yeah, buddy, we'll go for another drive. It gets a little bit more loose ends tied up on it, but hell, I'm satisfied. I think I paid $600 for it, and probably counting my gas and the parts I put in it, I'm probably up about $935 total. So, boy, you know, it's funny, this thing, I'm just getting into my random talking stuff here, but this car has a low washer fluid warning light that was on. I filled it up, so it's off now. But they gave you that, but a clock was optional, a rear window defroster was optional, and something else was optional on this thing. All this optional stuff, but they gave you a warning light for the whatchamacallit. There's so much gas it's got in it. 259,900. Alrighty then. Very well. Very nice. Shut her down. Yeah, that's idling too high. Alright guys, well, thanks so much for following along on this, and I know it's not necessarily everybody's cup of tea, but sometimes I just like to do things like this just to keep myself active and keep myself sharp. Now, you've been asking about the Fusion up there, so I know you're wondering, well, did you sell it? Are you giving up on it? Are you gonna sell it? Or whatever. No. I've actually already been into that car, working on it once, and when I repaired it and got it working again, I actually found out I had another problem with the transmission, which was probably actually the original problem. The stuff I fixed, which I'll detail later, but the stuff I fixed was just a collateral damage. I just treated some of the symptoms. So it's got to have a little bit of machining done to the transmission case, and the kit for that was $300 for a used one. The new those kits are about $750, $800 because only one place in the United States makes them, and this place is a transmission supply place, and they make other stuff like for other transmissions, but they're the only ones that make them for those. So it's just been quite a learning experience on that car as far as what's wrong with it. And the thing is I'm going to show how to do the repair on it, which I hope it'll be the final repair on it. It should work fine after that. But the thing is that I think that's not necessarily going to be a cost-effective repair for most people, because most people have to be able to do this kind of work. And since I'm mechanically inclined, I've done a lot of this stuff, I can do it. But, you know, when you tell all these folks who have been suffering through this with Mazda 6s and these Fusions that you got to buy a several $100 kit to fix it, and then you got to lay out here in your driveway or in the garage to repair it, it is not guaranteed. I don't even know yet that's going to fix it, but we hope it will be. So tune in, and we're going to do that. It's next in line probably. So we'll get that one done, and we got to get the Dart going, because I wasn't really going to do much with the Dart this winter because I wasn't planning to drive it. And you know, like I said, my concentration level sometimes dictates what I work on. So Lyle's been fighting the struggle like all those, keeping cars going, but I think he's doing pretty good lately. They worked on his car again today. He's been having some power steering problems with it, really bad. And he's got that infamous leaking power steering line, and it's the pressure line, and that's one of those that they put the line on first and built the car around it. So he's not in a place where he's prepared to do that repair yet. So anyway, wish him luck with that. But anyway, I'll wrap it up, guys. Thanks a lot for coming along with this little project, and we'll see you down the road on something else. Later.